Let's take a look at the code that backs the MSR. Here we have a code review that was recently put in, 19 hours ago in fact, where we're taking a change to our catalog API, which you can use to take a look into the repositories that we have. Now you can see that this was implemented in a previous version. We want to take it to our next generation 12 factor. So this change, in fact, pulls this code, the existing code, from the old version into the new version. So let's take a look at roughly what the changes look like. We've got a lot of different technologies in here, but it looks like over here we've got a lot of Go on this particular change. So just going through this, we can see that the team is very serious about making sure that their comments are up to date as well, so that whoever goes in there and needs to maintain it will know a little bit more about the code. Looking further down, we can see that there's some generated code in here, additional functions added. Again, another comment, but it looks like Wahab here had some concerns about the naming of the variables in terms of semantic correctness. But as we can see here, that was a deliberate decision, which allows us to be consistent with the rest of the APIs that we use. This is very important to make sure that customers get a consistent experience. Again, we have Wahab here talking about why we're not limiting it within the requel. Now, we can see here that Corey also thought about that and decided that we need to be able to perform the unbounded query and do some filtering at the application side. This is something that we couldn't actually limit prior to getting it into the code. It was a good observation by Wahab, and luckily it does not actually require a change since it was deliberate. Here we have another one where Wahab is talking about the limit of returns. So Corey's saying he's used 0 as a specific no limit, and that there is actually a reason why we would want to use no limit. The registry API spec, which this catalog API is part of, actually permits requests with no limit. So he wanted to make sure that our code could fully satisfy the specification. I'll scroll down a little bit more here. This is a significant change, making sure we have a correct authentication here. You can see that we're validating that we're being secure, as the S in Mirantis Secure Registry or MSR would imply, making sure that users only have access to what they are intended. So here, Wahab has noticed that there is a potential for panic, and it may actually be something that we do want to panic on if it's an exceptional circumstance. And Corey said, absolutely, he concurs on both counts. Once again, intentional. And here we have Chris making some questions about some of the Go-isms that were used here. We can see that Corey was on purpose doing this to make sure that we can return the same error message as different instances. So that also addressed Chris's follow-up question. So here we are looking at this entire change. We can also see here that there's a test plan that's gone through, and Corey's gone through and made sure that he has verified that each one of these conditions are met and the code actually satisfies what's being done here. We can see that of all the reviewers, there was 5 different reviewers actually that reviewed our code here. So that is excellent that we have a large team participation, and we can make sure that all of the changes that go in are vetted by people with different expertise in different subject areas, and we can be sure that we're getting a good solid change coming in. We can see here, Corey definitely appreciates the review questions. As he says, every developer needs to be kept honest, and he's trying to provide enough details to the team so that they know what's gone on, and that everybody can learn from the mistakes that he may have made or the intentional decisions he may have made. So the team is incredibly cohesive using these technologies, and it's amazing to have this kind of togetherness and delivering such an amazing product.